welcome back to the channel. Recently, Mohnish Pabrai did an online lecture with Peking University where he revealed a brand new framework that he had developed from all the learning and the thinking that he had gone throughout 2020. He mentioned that 2020 was a year of significant learning for him, and it had transformed his entire approach to investing. The framework that I'm referring to is, of course, the Spawners framework. Now, I'm not going to get into what exactly the framework is. It's better if you just watch his video directly if you're interested in knowing the framework. In this video, what I wanted to share was some doubts that I had that were related to this particular framework. I'm sharing my doubts about the framework so people in the comments can answer the points that I'm bringing up, and hopefully everyone who watches this video and engages in the comments is able to actually improve their own investing performance through a deeper understanding of this particular framework. Great, so let's get into the first point. The first point has to do with circle of competence. Let's imagine that you were able to find this perfect business. It's below 500 million and it has spawner DNA. You're able to determine that it has spawner DNA since you went through the history about the business and of course the management and so on. So you buy into this business because the current activity of this company is in your circle of competence. The company continues to spawn just as you had predicted that it would. My question is, at what point will the spawns exceed your circle of competence, causing you to sell out of this business? Let's go through an example. An early investor in Amazon, probably the best example of an apex spawner, bought into the company because the investor realized that Amazon is a business so good at selling books. And it's not just incrementally better than a bookstore, it's a whole magnitude better than a traditional bookstore. That's the insight where an investor saw value in investing in Amazon and being a fellow shareholder with Jeff Bezos. Now, going from that insight, I really doubt that the same investor would be able to say that they understand Amazon Web Services because it's so unrelated, that spawning activity of the bookstore to Amazon Web Services. It's completely unrelated spawning. Another example that came to mind is Berkshire Hathaway. There are not too many people on earth who can say that, insurance, energy, and the railways are in their circle of competence. At what point does the investor decide that, okay, this business is getting way too large and large parts of the activities of the business, the spawns, are out of my circle of competence and I should just exit this business? Or does the investor decide that I trust this entrepreneur and I'm going to be a silent partner in the business and just kind of ride it out with Jeff Bezos or Warren Buffett as they continue to be great capital allocators and spawners? I don't know the answer to this question. The second point I wanted to bring up is the impact of each new spawn. We already know that size is the enemy of returns. So with each new spawn that is created, whether it be adjacent or non-adjacent, embryonic or clonal spawns, each new successful spawn will have less and less of a meaningful impact on the overall business if the business has been a successful spawner in the past. I wanted to focus on the fake spawners that Pabrai actually mentioned in his presentation. What Pabrai had mentioned as fake spawners, in my opinion, they are not really fake spawners. In fact, the companies that were grouped in that basket are just so different from one another. So let's actually go through two examples that he mentioned. Let's go through IBM and GE. IBM and General Electric were incredible companies at the time of Thomas Watson and Thomas Edison. It's not like these companies have lost their way, rather they've lost their founders. And because of that, they have lost their ability to be true apex spawners. What made them great businesses were the entrepreneurs who built this company, the founders. Without the founder, the company is very likely to lose its soul and not be able to survive, compared to the forces of capitalism. What I'm trying to say is that they're not really fake spawners, they're spawners without their founder. So they are subject to the life cycle of businesses in capitalism. The third point is that the spawners framework is not really relevant unless you're managing money at the level of Pabrai. What I mean by this is managing hundreds and millions of dollars. So honestly, when I first heard this framework, it kind of made me a bit sad, since one of the points that I liked most about Pabrai's previous ideology is how he kept saying, just be unreasonable, demand growth at a PE of 1. This was a relatable framework and it made a lot of sense. invest in companies below what you perceive as fair value, and you won't lose money and make a good return on investment. This whole spawners framework, it essentially limits the upside to like maybe say 15 to 20%. Now, I understand that 15% over several decades is a return that only few great investors can even dream of achieving. But as a retail investor with very little money, I think it's worth trying to compound at like 40 to 50% annually. Being invested in spawners limits a retail investor's ability to try to compound at much higher rates. Now, saying that, I do find the idea of trying to find apex spawners pretty interesting. Pabrai doesn't really mention how to find apex spawners, but he does give examples of what he views as apex spawners. I have another theory about that, which I want to share in my next video. Do let me know in the comments if you'd like me to share this perspective on how I think one should go about finding apex spawners. I've actually got one example that I'm not sure if it's a apex spawner, but it kind of fits the new framework. But yeah, let me know. Again, all of these are just doubts, and my intention is to share these ideas so we can all grow better as investors. So do share your thoughts in the comments below. And I hope you like this video, and thank you for watching.